Welcome to the first ever episode of the Course Podcast. My name is Milan Pierre-Jerome, and I'm going to be your host. And today I'm here with Intermiami forward, Shanyder Borgelin. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm good. It's an honor to have you here. Any updates? How's the season been going?
First, thank you for having me. So it's a blessing, to help a longtime friend out. I've just been busy, honestly. The season just started last month in February, so we just kind of been, just playing games, training all the time, getting in the groove of things. I've been keeping busy, doing well.
That's good. Well, welcome. I started this podcast because I wanted to sit down with athletes, just talk about our different journeys. And the first volume is called The Florida Water. And, a lot of athletes have been putting Florida on the map, especially you. You're Broward County native, been doing your thing, and I thought you'd be a perfect fit for this. So, welcome. Are you nervous? First episode.
Yeah. I'm excited. I don't want to say nervous, but definitely excited. Especially starting this podcast, and I'm just, appreciative of you having me on this podcast. So, yeah, excited.
All right. Well, okay, let's get started. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you were born, where you went to school, all that.
My name is Shanyder Borgelin, and I am from North Lauderdale, Florida. And I've been, I was born and raised here, honestly, my whole life. And I just loved playing soccer down here. I played for a recreational team until I was about 10, 11 years old. And then I played for my first travel team with some of my current teammates right now. And, a lot of guys from Broward around here. And, just kind of made my way through the system in Florida. And, I finally got an opportunity to make it pro.
So growing up in Florida, you said you're from North Lauderdale. What would you say was your favorite memory, whether it was soccer, anything? Like, what was something that you will always remember?
So my dad was actually my first coach. He was a recreational coach. He was nothing crazy big, but he's the first person that got me into soccer. And I always remember my memories being with him. Because he used to coach our little team in the recreational. So every Saturday, every Sunday, he would just take us and we would just have fun. Honestly, just playing games, playing for fun. I'll say the best memory would just probably just be winning championships with my dad at a young age. It was probably just like it's a crazy core memory that I have that I still have to this day. Yeah.
So with soccer, you saying you with your dads, everything with like North Lauderdale. What would you say was a moment that really started for you when you're like, you know what, I could take this serious. I really want to move forward and strive with soccer.
So I actually started soccer at the age of 3 or 4. I used to watch Brazil play all the time on the TV because that was my dad's favorite national team. But I never really took it seriously until I'll say I was about 9, 10 years old when I went to my first ever professional international match, and that was actually Haiti versus Spain. They played at I think the Hard Rock or the Fort Lauderdale, well, currently Drive Pink Stadium, but it was one of those places. But Haiti scored, and it was a crazy moment because all the fans were wild, especially because since I'm Haitian. But that's when I told my dad. I said, "Hey, Dad, like I really want to take this seriously, and I want to make it pro, and I want to play for my national team one day." And ever since then, he honestly just supported me throughout whatever I wanted to do. Whether it's playing here, whether it's playing abroad, and he just got my whole family on board, and I'm just glad it worked out.
So moving forward with your support from your dad, I know you went to high school at Heritage. So how was your journey in high school different from others, would you say?
Yeah, so I'm from North Lauderdale, like I said. So North Lauderdale it's not really like the best place, honestly. So a lot of kids like where I'm from, we don't really get an opportunity to go to a school like American Heritage. People that don't know, American Heritage is one of the most prestigious like private schools in South Florida. So for me to be able to get that opportunity was just crazy. But it was just a result of all my hard work and just God being in the center of everything. When I was in 8th grade, I think I spent a summer just playing for a team. It was like a summer team at American Heritage. And, I did well, and they offered me a scholarship to come to the team and just play for them, my 9th grade year. And, I just kind of killed it in my 9th grade. And it was just a crazy opportunity to have, I just never thought I'd be able to go to a school like that. So I was blessed for that.
So you left Heritage, right, in ninth grade, right, to
Yeah,
go.
correct.
So how was that transition for you? How would you describe that?
It was definitely a wake up call, kind of, because I finally hit reality, and I was kind of stuck in between. Do I want to stay in Florida, or do I want to, pursue my career like somewhere else? And my ninth grade year, that was the year where a lot of teams started to kind of come look after me. A lot of MLS teams in Europe. I spent like maybe a month in Europe, just kind of, trying out different teams. And it wasn't until my ninth grade summer where I had to make a decision where, all right, that's either I stay or go. And, I obviously chose the decision to go to Philadelphia to pursue my professional career.
So how was Philadelphia? How did that go?
It was definitely tough at first, I'm not gonna lie. It took a lot for my mom to kind of be on board with me moving out at the age of 14, 15. But kind of just sat with them and just talked, and I said, hey, you guys have always supported me, and this is a great opportunity for me. So, you kind of have to let my wings, fly and just kind of go, So they supported that. But my first 2 months in Philadelphia was very, very, very tough. Being away from home, especially in the cold, and you're leaving Miami to go to Philadelphia. So it's a whole different type of world. You kind of go from like a big party city, like with all your friends, to a place you don't even know. So it was just a big adjustment for me, and I think the biggest thing for me was I went from being the best player, like around, I wouldn't say the best player, but one of the best players around Broward, to being with the best players in the country.
Right.
So it's kind of big, big, big transition, and I had to kind of figure out how to, fit in with those kids. Especially being from Florida, especially being a kid that's not really raised in Philadelphia.
Right.
They're gonna look at you a little differently. So it was just a big transition, but I got the hang of it.
So throughout those years, what would you say was your mentality? Like what kept you going to just like see the end goal? You know what I mean?
I think that's just a result of just all the hard work that I've done, but I think my upbringing as well. I'm Haitian, so being Haitian and especially from Broward, we all have the same mentality of life is not going to just be given to you; you have to earn it. So whatever you do, you have to always put your best foot forward and do it to the best of your abilities. So my dad has always preached that to me growing up, and he's always taught me that whenever you see an obstacle, it's an opportunity. Whenever you see an obstacle, it's a challenge. But that's going to test the true man that you are. So I was able to just kind of overcome those obstacles and continue to go no matter what. And I just dreamed big, and I told myself I'm never going to let anything stop me from achieving what I want to achieve. So
Okay. So after
yeah.
Philadelphia, what were your next steps? Where'd you go after that?
Yeah, so I spent about 5 years in Philadelphia. I signed my second year there, but it obviously didn't work out as I thought it would. But it was time for a new challenge, and it was until the beginning of 2022 where I was like, all right, it's either I stay in Philly or I explore other options. And my agents told me there was a lot of teams interested in me, and Miami was one of them. Intermiami was one of them. And honestly, I prayed about it, and everything kind of just led to Intermiami because the head scout is Mark Prezant. He actually used to work at Philly, so
Oh
it was
wow.
kind of a connection that we had there. And he was like, hey, there's a big opportunity for you. We're looking for a young striker, so you can kind of come in, and if you can prove yourself, hey, like you never know. So I just spoke to my family, prayed about it, and I finally made the move to come here. And it was honestly an easy move because I'm from here. So
Yeah.
being able to play for my hometown team, especially in front of my fans, my friends and family, it was just a crazy opportunity. So I just had to take it.
So when you signed that pro contract for Inter Miami, please tell us, how did that feel?
You're talking about the MLS one, the
Yes,
most one.
yes. MLS, yes.
That was honestly, I ain't gonna lie. When I got that call that I finally, was about to receive a contract, I kind of let it soak in. I kind of cried a little bit because I went through a lot, just growing up. Especially when I first signed my first professional contract at Philly, it was a tough one. I went through injuries. I didn't make the starting lineup a lot of times. So I just kind of look back at all the struggles and all the obstacles that I had to overcome, and for me to be able to finally surpass those things, and for me to be able to have this moment, it was just crazy for me. I just kind of prayed and just thanked God for everything that I had. And I was just so grateful and just ready to get started.
It's amazing. So I know you're a strong believer in God. So how would you feel that your relationship with him has impacted you, your journey, everything?
Crazy. I'll say everything. Everything is from him. I wouldn't be the man that I am without him, and I wouldn't be the man that I'm going to continue to be without him. And my dad has always emphasized that God's the center of your life. And people don't know this. Not a lot of people know this, but before I was born, I wasn't supposed to really come out of my mom's womb. I had a lot of complications in the womb. The doctor said I wouldn't be able to, you know, live after a certain amount of years, or let alone even be alive after I'm born. So, my dad just put his full faith in God, and I was able to come out, healthy. But my dad has always said, God's given you a life for a reason. So how are you going to use it? And he's always said that soccer is your testimony to the world. So I just kind of took that and ran with it. So every time I had a big opportunity, it was never mine. It was never like my doing, it was always God. So that's why I always continue to put him in front of everything that I do, especially my career. So, I've just been able to kind of just glorify him through that.
It's amazing. So you scored in your debut, and the first thing you did is you looked up and you just thanked him. So can you just describe that moment for us?
Yeah. So yeah, that was a crazy week. So that was actually the same week that I found out I was going to get signed by Intermiami. So I signed my contract maybe like 3 days after, and then found out that weekend was obviously our opening weekend. So I got rostered for that game, and then the coaches kind of said, "Hey, this is gonna be your night. You're gonna get this chance." So I was kind of preparing myself for that moment, and then once I finally got on, it was kind of like, wow, like I'm finally here. It's kind of a sold out game. And it was everything I envisioned, like in the backyard, playing when I was a little kid. But to be able to sub on and 8 minutes later to be able to have the ball just kind of land in front of me and then hit finally in the back of the net. The first time I shot it, obviously, it deflected, it came right back to me. I'm like, all right, I gotta put this one. So it finally hit the back of the net, and then literally I just seen everyone kind of just like stand up, started, going crazy. And then I didn't even know what to do. I didn't know how I was gonna celebrate. But my life just flashed before my eyes. Just everything, like I said, I went through. It was just a surreal moment for me and my family. And like I said, I just kind of cried, but the first thing I just really did was just thank God for this moment, and I was just glad to just finally get a taste of what my career is going to look like going forward. So yeah.
It's incredible. So shifting to Haiti, I know you're Haitian,
Yeah.
so I know you've been able to represent Haiti. How was that experience for you?
That was also another crazy one for me. You know, um, my family, they're from Haiti, so I'm kind of a first generation American. So for me to be able to kind of just represent them and just be a part of the Haitian culture and wear it across my chest, it was just an amazing thing. And it was honestly a dream, like I said, from the jump. That was actually the reason why wanted to become a professional, because of Haiti, first Haitian game. So for me to finally get that call when I was about, let's say, like 17 years old to play for the youth team, that was a crazy moment. And then, I was able to just, kind of keep going with it.
Amazing. So over these years, what would you say has always been your biggest motivation?
Biggest motivation. Would you say in terms of a person or just like in general?
Anything in general.
My biggest motivation, I would say honestly, I would say my dad. Honestly, my dad is probably my biggest. My mom and dad actually, they're my biggest motivation. They come from nothing, so for them to be able to find a way into America and just achieve everything that they've been able to achieve. My dad's currently the mayor of North Lauderdale, and my mom, she owns like many businesses now, coming from nothing. That just kind of always drove me as a young kid, and then my mom has always said, if you want a life, you got to go get it. So they've always pushed me to just be the best at whatever I did, and I would say that's just my motivation. And my main motivation, honestly, is just kind of just to make them proud, in everything that I do. So it's kind of where it comes from.
Well, you're doing that. You're making them
Yeah.
proud. You're doing that. But yeah, so I'd just say you're a huge advocate for Broward, and you're really representing Broward in a positive light. So why do you think it's so important to continue to shine that light?
Yeah, obviously Broward's my hometown, and there's a lot of places, especially in North Lauderdale, where it could definitely be a little tough for kids growing up. But I just want to be an inspiration to kids that are around this area and let them know that anything can honestly happen as long as you have two things, a dream and just dedication and commitment to what you want to do. Just dream big, and no matter what, don't ever let anybody tell you anything. You can be whoever you want to be, whether that's a politician, a lawyer, an athlete, an entertainer, whatever it may be. But for me to finally do this in my career is definitely an inspiration to all the little kids coming up, saying, "Yo, if he can do it, I definitely can do it."
So talking about all these little kids, you have a lot of people looking up to you, whether it's in Florida everywhere, Haiti everywhere. So if you could offer a piece of advice for them, what would it be?
Piece of advice, I would say definitely, honestly, this might sound cliche, but dream big. That's something that I've done my entire life, and I still am doing to this day. But dreaming big with no limits is honestly the best thing you can possibly do, because I read a book. It's called the 10X. It always says double your dreams, which means if you want, let's say if you want $10,000, say make that goal like $50,000, because you're gonna always exceed your goal that you always wanted. So that's kind of just dreaming big. But yeah, I'll say that's going to allow you to just push through whatever it is that you want to do in life, because like I said, you're going to experience obstacles, you're going to experience struggles, but, that dream will always keep fueling you, and it will always keep pushing you to just, be the best person that you can be.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being on this episode. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for taking the time to sit down with me. Make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe, all that. Follow me on all the platforms. Follow Shanyder, and just stay tuned for the next episode dropping next Monday. Any last words for them, Shanyder?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for having me on this podcast, and I'm proud of you, honestly. Milan's been a longtime friend of mine, so for her to reach out and say, "Hey, I want you on this podcast," it was kind of I'm very excited for her, but it was a blessing for me as well. But I just want you to keep kind of just going with it. You're killing it with the Haitian national team as well. So, good luck with that in the World Cup, and, just keep killing it, man. Just it's all love for me, and I'm always excited to see what you do. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, we'll catch y'all next time. Bye.
Take care. I don't even know if it's always a Haitian word. You think that's a Haitian word? Yeah, I don't know. I ain't gonna lie, you might have to do the favorite season again, because that one.
Okay, let's just do the whole thing again. Okay.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. My favorite song is definitely not Magnolia by Plymouth. This is the first thing I popped up.
Okay. Okay.
I don't really like spicy food like that, but I like a little tangy in mine.
Okay. Yo, lots of sauce pois, like straight green. That is me. Anywhere I see grill, I'm devouring it. Like, period.